Neighbors keep bringing their dog over to piss and shit in my yard. Hopefully they got the memo. Personally, I would have also pooper scooped all their little dog's turds and put them on their driveway also. Growing up, next door neighbor would let their dog run loose to piss and shit in our yard and another neighbor's yard. Dad was fanatical about the yard and repeatedly asked the owner to stop his dog from using our yard. Neighbor would comply for a few days and then the dog would be running around on his own. Dad saved up a bunch of the dog shit, moistened it with water, and used a small rake to throw the shit as hard as he could, used it like a lacrosse stick at their garage door. They never let the dog run loose again. My grandma used to pour bacon grease on the poop so the dog would eat it on its next visit. Had a similar issue. I flung it over the fence and it bounced off their washing line. Oops. I read a comment a bit ago said to toss wet beef bouillon cubes into their yard and then the dogs will dig at the beef smell in the dirt. Any reaction from them? Do I think they got the message? I'd have put all of their dog poo in a nice gift box, labeled it on the outside card with "Welcome to the neighborhood" and put another card inside with the poo saying, "And please clean up after your dog." You'll need a motion-activated sprinkler system. Turdabout is fair play. Number 2 can play at that game. What goes around dumps around. We had neighbors that let their dog shit in our yard and didn't pick it up. My dad's response: scoop our dog's poop and chuck it over the fence into the neighbor's yard. He also tossed every snake he found into their yard as well. And he would wait until 2 a.m. and belly crawl across the property line to adjust their sprinkler heads to be fucked up. That boomer spite was wicked and unchained. Why do like 50 of dog owners suck us at owning a dog and being respectful? I had this happen when I moved in. Unleashed dog being walked by its jerk owner, and one of its poop spots was right next to my front stoop. I sprinkled cayenne pepper all around my stoop and never had that problem again. My neighbor used to let his dog shit on the neighborhood green space. So one day, I bagged some up, called the dog over and tied the bag of shit to its collar. No issues after that. I need an update. Are you saying they let their dog poop and didn't bag it? That's inexcusable. While we were waiting for our house to get the lawn put in, our neighbor invited us to let our dog use her lawn, but we used the strip on the far side of the sidewalk and always bagged the poop. Film it and broadcast it in a TV set show in your front window. I did that when I had a gallery and someone stole a whole container of Halloween candy. Turns out it was an old lady. Didn't care. Loop it. Bit disappointed you got your dog to do the business in their yard. I'd have personally shit in it. They'd get the fucking message then. Last week I placed a picture of 2 dog poo offenders on a tree where they left it. One neighbor called me up excited AF that I am calling them out with evidence. One had been a menace for 25 years. Talked to me for 30 minutes of how happy he was I did this. He knows who they are. Today that same offender blocked the camera's view of the dog while wearing the same coat. It has caused a lot of commotion. I had a car pull up at night, 2 people get out, look at it with a flashlight, and then drive off. So if you ask them to stop, and they do not, then treat them the same way back. Grab a glove and chuck each poo at her house. She's yucky. And don't be concerned, the next rain will erase your pup's prints. BBBT, it won't rinse poo off their home. Or, glove up, grab the poo, walk over there, ring the bell, and hand it to them, letting them know they left something in your yard. Most people will unconsciously grab things that are handed to them. It would be a riot. I read one story here where a similar thing was going on and the guy poured bacon grease on all the dog poop, so when the neighbors brought their dog over to poop in his yard again, it voraciously ate all the poop in his yard. The neighbors never brought their dog into his yard again. Get a sprinkler system. You can turn on from remotely if you're not home a lot. One of those doorbell cameras, place them strategically for movement if that's not In the budget, get a long hose every time they come onto your yard. Go hold the hose if the dog goes into shitting stance. Soak the dog owner. You handled it correctly. Here is another method a former hothead coworker of mine used. Saw his former neighbor's dog taking a dump in his yard through his kitchen window, ran outside and yelled at the guy, "If I see your dog shit in my yard again, I'll fucking kill you." I don't condone this approach in any way, shape, or form, but he said it worked. My mum had this problem. She also had a wicked sense of revenge, freezer bags, and my dad's fishing catapult. Hilarious. You're not shy. Get motion-activated sprinklers. Lesson: don't bring a Yorkie to a husky fight. Poopy petty revenge is the best. So what was their reaction to your revenge? I hope you have been tossing all their Yorkie poo over to their house every time they use your property, in addition to having your dog do the same. These are not nice neighbors, and you need to let them know from the get-go that their nasty behavior won't be tolerated. And get cameras that record, and encourage your other neighbors not them to do the same. Ha 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 ha. Well, if they don't get the message after the visit from your sweet husky "I love them," then you will have to say something. Don't worry about sounding rude. With people that obtuse, rudeness will go right over their heads. Put up a sign that says the yard is fertilized with pesticides. My neighbor had a dog whizzing on his screen door. He put down a thin steel plate and connected an electric fence power supply to the plate and the screen door. Problem solved. Did they at least pick up the poop? Why do people do this? I don't get it. Why literally walk up to someone's house and let your dog shit in their yard? I don't get it, like I don't even let my dog stop near someone's house when we go on walks, let alone shit in their yard. What is wrong with your neighbors? I had to deal with this. I talked to them once. No result. 30C, pissed on their new house front door. Was white stained. It had a different tone until summer. They never crossed my lawn again. Extra bonus, whenever they'd see us, they would look away. They moved away a year later. At least it was a dog, I guess. We've had numerous poo joggers hit the news and become unmasked here in Australia. They'd be out for a jog and consistently take a shit at the same spot on their route on someone's lawn or driveway, on the hood of a specific car, etc. Absolutely wild. So then what? What goes around comes around, literally. Husky versus Yorkie Shitty show. You need to assert your dominance and go shit in their yard. You should have drooped trawl and laid a turd right then and there. Assert the dominant role. I like your response. Direct. Proportional. I hope they get the message. Just start hosing it down while the Yorker is in process. What is wrong with these people? I am completely invested in this saga. Our horrible neighbors let their dog shit in our yard non-stop. We flung it into their yard multiple times with a snow shovel, but eventually we just put up cameras with a bunch of signs saying "Smile, you're on camera," and they immediately stopped the dog from coming into our yard because they didn't want to take responsibility for it. LMAO. I don't condone what I did and I've paid my price, but in a similar situation when the neighbor let their bright white poodle come to my yard and poop every morning, I opted to get a paintball gun and light the little shit up. Looked like a technicolored poodle bow. Yes, I got my licks from the local authorities, but that little fuck stayed away. I had this problem with my next-door neighbor many years ago. I used a shovel to throw it in their yard every time I saw it, and they eventually started using someone else's yard. For some insane reason, I'm rooting for an update. I'm imagining first shots fired with this post. Motion-censored sprinklers work great to keep that out of your yard. Bag of their dog poo in their car on a hot summer's day. Empty the contents onto their windshield under their wipers.